In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create a new database and then load into a table using Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. And I have done this video before, but I use my SQL Workbench, which is quite different from this one. So I felt it's appropriate that I do this video using a different software, and that's why I'm doing this video. So the first thing you need to do is to download the software on your computer. I have already downloaded on my computer, so I'm just gonna pick the software and go right in. So it takes me to the software. It's gonna take a while, you just need to be patient. So this is what you see when you know, click on the software and then it brings you to this platform. So this is the interface, and then it's gonna ask you to connect to your server. My server right here is localhost, so I'm just gonna connect to it. And now I'm connected to the server. The next thing to do is to go to databases right here, and then you right click, then go to new database. So it's going to ask you to name your database, and I'm going to name the database as new employees. Then I'll click OK, and I refresh, and then click the plus sign and check if I have the database created. And let me see, I have the database right here. So you're just gonna click on the plus sign to check if you have, and then to create your table. I already created the database, so it's just for me to load into the database. So I click on the table, and then I right click and go to new and pick the new table, which is going to bring me to where I'm going to design how I want the table to look like. So I'm going to start loading what I want to see in the database. The first thing is employee ID. And then the data type, of course, is going to be integer because it's number. I'm going to put the integer, and then I go to the next one, which is employee name, maybe first name, employee first name, and then I come here and then I change that to voucher, and then because it's going to be text, so it has to be voucher, and then this number means the length of the text, so I'm going to put 20 because I might have a longer name, so that can contain. So I pick that, and then I'm going to uncheck the employee ID, and the next one is employee last name, and then that's going to be voucher 2, and I change the text to 20. And then the next one is going to be employee phone number, and that's going to be integer because it's number. So I'm going to locate integer and put that too. And then the last one is going to be probably employee start date. So that one I'm going to put date. I'm just going to put date, and then I go and then I save that. Before I go, I need to make sure that I give this I set my employee ID as the primary key. So what I did, I just right click and then I pick, if I want to remove it, I can remove it from here. Another way to make employee ID or to make an entry or evaluate primary key is to go to the tab on top of the screen, on top of the, interface, and just pick, the primary key is right here, and then you can remove if you want to, and then I go to save, and I just save table 1. I'm just going to save it as table, let me just say table employee, table new employee, new emp. Okay, so I just click OK. You can save it whatever you want, just make sure you save, in the name that you will remember. So I save that and I refresh. And then if I close that and I go to my table to check if my table was loaded, and then so right here I have my table created. The next thing is for me to load into the database, begin to put things I want. So I did 200 rows, and then I have what I want to create right here. So I begin to put uh, my numbers. Let's say I begin to put employee name, Basil, last name, trans, and then phone number. I'm just gonna put a random number there, you know. Employee start date. Let's say I put 04 20. 04 is a month, and then the next one is the date, and then 2019, and then I go to the next person, and then the next person should be Taylor Taylor Will, and then I just put a random number just the way I did earlier. And then I put the date, let's say 05 23 2019. And then I go to the next one, 3, and I put Wilmar, put Rock, Wilmar Rock. And then I put a random number, and then I put the entry date, 20, say 04, say 03, 11, 2019, and then I save. I just say I save all, and then I refresh. Then I close this, refresh again, and then I check if what I loaded, you know, let me see, set row. Okay, so my table is created, and we can see right here that my table is created. So this is basically how to create a new database and then load into the table on Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. So I just want to make sure that what we loaded in the database, is correct and there's no mistake whatsoever. I want us to run a query to see if this is going to show up. So I'm going to go to new query, and I'll go to select all from, I'm going to select the table that we just created, new employees, that's the table we just created. And then I execute that to see, boom, and we have the table. This is the table we just created, and I ran a query. So if I want to run another query, let's say just to be sure that what we have, select employee first name from table, from new employee, where, just to put I want to put a condition, where employee first name is Taylor. See if that's gonna, okay, so I have that right here. So let me just select this so there's no confusion. So we have that. So that means what we just created is real and is working. So that's just it. Thank you.